Alright, so this T4Cast is going to be about what I think about in terms of college, I guess. I don't really know how to explain how to do an intro on this. The thing that's kind of ironic is what I'm going to say contradicts what I'm all about. Because A, I have 3 degrees, and B, I have a part-time gig where I tutor out of college. So it's going to be ironic, but if anybody was talking about college, like say my daughter or something when she's older, I'd say don't go. The reason I would say don't go is largely just because you start with debt right away. I mean, put it this way, you're like a kid all along, then you turn into an adult, basically, when you graduate high school, because then you're 17, and then turn 18, or you're already 18, and then it's like you go to college. Now, you don't have any money, because you were just a kid, and then you went to more school, and yet you're starting with a massive amount of debt, which, granted, you don't have to pay it right away, but you're still responsible for it. It's still on your name, and once you do start working, now they expect you to start paying it, and yeah, it's just a terrible way to start your adult life. I mean, it makes your life such a struggle, and really, it's like, for what? You know, I'm thinking about my experiences, like, you know, when I graduated, I felt so poor all the time. Here I was, I had a kind of cool job. You know, I had a cool office desk job. Like, I had my own office and everything, and it was just cool. But I do talk to people about it. But yeah, it was like half my pays were always gone to paying off student loan bills. And I don't mean for that to sound like I'm done paying my student loans. It's just I make more now, so it doesn't affect me as much as it did during those days. Those days was literally like half my pay. Now it's like a fifth of one check, so I'm okay now. But then it was insane. Here I am just starting life, and it's like, wow, I'm starting completely dead broke. Here I was, at that time I had 2 degrees, and I was working 2 jobs. I had my regular job, and I was almost working 40 hours at a second job. I was working, 35 hours a week at a second job just to try to make extra money. Like, that's a terrible way to start life. Again, you go from being a kid with no responsibilities or nothing, you go to school, you come home, oh, I'm a kid, and then boom, 4 years later, you're working nonstop, and it's like, oh my God, this is life? It's just terrible. And it's like, here's the thing, college is, I don't want to say it's a scam, but relatively speaking, it's a scam. Like, it's not a scam, because obviously you do get an end product. You know, if it was straight up a scam, you'd get nothing. So, it's not a full-on scam, but it's kind of like a service. How do I explain this? I don't know. I was gonna say it's a service wrapped in a scam, but that's not it either. But, you know, you're scammed all the way until you graduate, basically. And then it's like, okay, now I have this paper that will help me get a job. But then you start at your job and you have no skills. So you go through 4 to 8 years of college. Well, 8 years you might start off a little bit better. So let's just say 4 years. You go through 4 years of college, probably $100,000 in debt, if not more. And then your first job you get pays you a little bit more than minimum wage. I mean, when I started, minimum wage was $9.10 an hour. I was making $14 an hour. I was basically getting just about 50% minimum wage. Nowadays, at least in my state, minimum wage is $16.35. So what would they start you at now? $20 an hour? That's not even 50% of minimum wage anymore. But it's like, they don't pay you because you're not worth it yet. You don't know what you're doing. You have no skills. Okay, you went to college, so that just means that you had an interest. And you put a little effort in to learn about this interest. But that's about it. You don't have, you know what I mean? Like, I think back to when I first started in industry. I remember, so my industry is design engineering. And I remember when I first started, the chief engineer that they had at the company, I was looking at the design he had on his screen, and I was like, holy crap, I hope they don't expect me to do that. Like, it was intimidating, because it was big. It was a 5,000 plus piece design, and I'm looking at it like, oh my God, am I supposed to be able to do that? I hope they don't think I can do that. I can't do that. I didn't have that kind of skills. I had enough skills for basic stuff, not these giant molds, which fortunately they didn't have that expectation of me. What I ended up actually doing was I would just make all the prints for the chief engineer. So he would do the designs, and then when he was done, he would tell me which jobs were ready to get prints for. And then I'd do everything else, not just the prints. I'd make prints, I'd make the BOMs, bill of materials. I would do all the ordering, like I'd go out in the shop and see what, based on the BOM, I'd see what we had in stock. Do I need to order more? I would order all the required steel, etc. So like he did the design, I did everything else. But yeah, it was still intimidating at first because you don't have those skills. So of course they're not going to pay me a lot. I'm not going to get started and they're going to pay me $35 an hour. They know I offer nothing. Okay, so you can kind of use the software. Cool. So again, it's just, it's like when it starts in middle school even, the late middle school, they start telling you, oh, you got to start thinking about what you want to do for high school. You got to get into a good high school. Maybe if you can get into a private school, that's even better. It looks better on a resume. And then when you get into that high school, then it's, oh, you got to do good. Got to make sure you get those grades up. That way then when a college looks at your resume, you have a better shot at getting into the school you want. And it's like you're just like brainwashed, and this is constantly drilled into your head. That's kind of like what happened to me. I mean, geez, that's why I ended up with my first 2 degrees. My 3rd degree, I kind of had my eyes open at that point, but I still pursued it because I had, high hopes for it. I guess for the most part, it hasn't panned out for me, so much for that, I guess. Well, I guess it did land me my job at the college. Finally, it only took 8 years to get that after applying and applying and applying, but still, for the most part, it didn't work out as well as I was thinking it would. But anyways, yeah, so like that's just always drilled in your head, and so that's kind of what got me. I thought, okay, I gotta do good, I gotta go to college. I remember these propaganda posters that I'd see that said like, somebody with an associate's degree makes $1 million more than somebody with just a high school degree over the course of their life. And somebody with a bachelor's makes $2 million more than just somebody with a high school diploma over the course of their life. So, you see that, and I'm like, ooh, wow, that seems cool. But it's like, yeah, but what is this data, though? How long did these people work for that you took the data from? What kind of positions did these people have? Did they make it to like, top tier of their position in high-end businesses, so they're making a lot of money when it's, you know what I mean? Meaning like it's 1% of graduates are going to get that level of success. And is that what you're using to try to blindside everybody? I mean, again, it's students that you're talking to. It's young people. They're not critically thinking like this. They just see that like me, and it's like, ooh, I want to go to college. I want to make $2 million more over the course of my career. Then you start doing the math. You're like, well, let's see. If I work for 40 years, 52 weeks in a year times 40, divide the $2 million, how much more per pay period does that mean I could make? But the reality of it is it's not really like that. Again, first off, student loans. Well, those come at you like, hey, what's up? So it's like, oh, there's all that difference that I was making. It goes to this stupid thing. Cool. So now the person who didn't go to college is actually making more than me because I got this loan stealing half my money. And, yeah, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of propaganda, a lot of blindsiding. And I think it's not worth it. I mean, this is what I think. I think there's plenty of jobs out there that you can get pretty successful at. Yeah, you might have to do a lot of work. Like my job for the most part is pretty cushy. I go in 7:30 to 4. I have an office. Like I have an even better office than my first job. My first job was like it was just like a cube, but it had like high walls, so it was kind of like an office. But what I have now is an actual office with a door and everything, a window, everything. And, private. I'm in a finished off basement. And, yeah, and it's like climate controlled, all that. You get holidays off. We used to get little perks on holidays too. It hasn't really happened for some reason. I don't understand why. But when I first started at the company I'm at now, I remember like Thanksgiving week, we would get like random half days for no reason. The plant, they got screwed over. They didn't get the half days. But us in the office, we did. It would be like this year, we're off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In years past, we would have gotten like Tuesday as a half day. We probably won't this year. It'd be cool if we did, but we probably won't. But that's what would have happened in years past. So, it's just like cool little dumb benefits like that as well that you're not going to get from like a normal job. Like say you're a UPS guy, you're not going to be able to get a half day because you still got to deliver all your packages. So the company can say it's a half day all they want, but you know, my truck is still full, so I can't take no half day, you know. But at the same time, as I was saying, there are jobs out there that are good, that you don't need college. Perfect examples, like I just said, UPS. UPS, yes, you have long hours, especially during the holidays. The holidays, it gets insane because obviously there's more packages for presents and all that, so then it gets really expensive. I mean, expensive. I meant really distracted here because I'm passing this truck and it's weird. It's got like a thing on it, one of those crates that you'd see at like a shipping yard, but it's not even a trailer truck. It's just a regular like Ford F450. It's kind of throwing me off, and then it's making all kinds of noise. It's making me nervous. Like, what's all that noise? But anyways, back to what I was saying. Yeah, so you work crazy hours during like Christmas and stuff because obviously there's more packages and stuff, people buying presents and everything. So yeah, you have crazy days then. And even on average, you still have long days. I mean, you know, at least 12 hours, if not more. So yeah, that sucks, but you do pretty well. And obviously you have good benefits and stuff. You can retire. When you retire, you get a pension. You get, well, obviously your Social Security, that's something separate, but still you get a pension. I think you get like insurance still as well. It's not even Cobra. I think UPS still just covers your insurance. It's like part of your pension package, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the situation. Like, obviously you have to retire at the age they say to get these full benefits. I think it's like 67 or something nowadays. So you got to wait till you're 67, but still, like, you're all set. Most older people, they got to worry about that. Like, there's a lady at my job that does customer service. She's half retired because she, A, doesn't make enough money off of Social Security. B, you know, my company offers nothing. They don't get pension or nothing. And C, you know, it's for the Medicare and all that crap. I don't know if she needs a job just so she can get that, or if having this job helps her pay for it. I don't know the situation. But regardless, you know, there's something with that as well, why she keeps working part-time. So, yeah, with UPS, you don't have to worry about that. Or, you know, you could work like some dumb job. I know a guy who graduated high school and or probably while he was still at high school, actually, got a job at Burger King. Just started out as a regular crew member, nothing special, but he ended up working his way up. Went from crew member to shift manager, from shift manager to store manager. I remember when he got store manager, it was funny because, like, I mean, he's a goofy guy, you know? What I mean by goofy guy is he's just, like, I don't know, silly. Like, he's a jokester and stuff. So it just seems silly. Like, how did you make it to store manager? You're not professional enough for that. But now, he's district manager. He got promoted again. And so I would imagine he's making decent enough money. I mean, district manager, you know, there's only one of those per district. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to crew, there's what, 60 of you? Then you get shift manager, there's 6 of you. Then store manager, there's 1 of you per store. Then district manager, there's 1 of you per district. And whatever his district is, I don't know how big it is, but, you know. So obviously there's boosts in pay all along the way. And who knows? He could take it from there. Maybe there's a regional manager, unless district manager is regional manager in the world of Burger King. But if not, then maybe he can move on to regional manager and get an even another boost. And maybe even end up as a store owner. Who knows? I know that takes a lot of money and stuff, but who knows? Maybe if he plans it out right, you know, he gets a boost to regional manager, saves a good amount of his pay. Then he could put a down payment on a store. I mean, once you become an owner, then you're basically set. I knew when back in the day when I worked at McDonald's, the owners had 4 stores, and from what I understand, they made like $1.25 million per year per store. So $5 million a year is what they were pulling in just for owning 4 McDonald's. They didn't have to do anything, you know. They didn't have to work there or anything. Okay, you have to go to meetings here and there. Oh no, oh, I gotta go to a meeting. Oh, it sounds so rough. You know, you have staff to take care of how it's functioning. You don't have to worry about how your stores are functioning at all. You know, you got shift managers and the store manager and the maintenance and all this, that they just take care of it all. So $5 million easy, basically, just to own 4 stores. Even if you had $1.25 million a year to do nothing. So yeah, There's that route too. No college education, and potentially he could own a Burger King someday. So, there's plenty of jobs. It's just, you just gotta have the motivation, and you gotta have the dedication. You gotta have the motivation to want more and work on getting, getting promoted and all that. And then you gotta have the dedication. You can't just want it. You gotta make sure that you're, going after it and sticking with it and all that. You can't just get it and then, you can't just have that desire but don't try. You gotta have it, make it stay forever, and do what it takes. If you gotta work long days or whatever, then that's what you gotta do if you want to be successful. But anyways, I think another option you could do, which possibly be not better, but if you're going to take out debt, I think you should take out debt for yourself. Like, one thing I've heard before is, if you're going to take out a loan, don't go to college. Take out a loan that actually you can, use instantly. This is kind of niche, but, some people were saying, buy a truck. So you have a work truck. And then now you can, go out and do things with that truck. Maybe mow people's lawns, or you can, if you have any kind of handymanness to you, you can do little house repairs or big house repairs, depending on how good you are at your handiwork and all this. Again, that's niche. That's not everybody. I couldn't do that. I can't buy a truck and be like, all right, I'm going to be handyman or whatever. I guess I could kind of be a landscaper. I can mow and all that. It's not really something I'd want to do, but still, that's the idea. If you're going to take out a loan that will benefit you directly and immediately. Right now, when you take out loans, the argument can be made that, well, you're going to the college and you're getting a degree, which then you can use for your career. But at the end of the day, that money really is going to the school. It's not going to you. You're paying the school to go there. Okay, in exchange, you're getting a degree. But again, like I said in the beginning, that degree is useless until you get started. So, okay, cool. I got this thing that barely helps me. It just allows me to step my foot in the door and get into a job and be a complete rookie and know nothing and have to work my way up still. After spending 4 years in college, I still have to work my way up. At least the truck example, you buy that truck, you're good right away. Boom. Hey, I got a truck. Hey, can you help me move this log out of my yard? Yeah, I got a truck. Boom. It's working for you day one. Hey, I got this stump I want to get removed. Hey, I got a truck. Maybe we can tie some chains up and I can help you pull it out. All right, sounds good. Boom, that truck is working for you. Where this degree, it's not working for you until at least 3 years. After you get it, you're going to be in industry for 3 years, really, before you actually know anything. That's what it was like for me. It's you're just constantly learning until after about roughly 3 years, then you kind of are like, all right, I feel like I'm plateauing. I think I know enough now. I'm not a rookie anymore. So that means, right off the gate, if you get a 4-year degree, that's 7 years that you got to waste before that degree's even working for you. Where if you bought a truck, that thing's working for you day one. You leave the lot, you go to your buddy's house, you're helping him move a log out of his yard. Boom. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, do something like that. Another thing I think could be a solid idea, actually, even better than the truck, is try to buy a property. Don't buy a house for yourself. Buy a rental property. Buy a house. Buy a building that has multiple units. And the more units it has, possibly the better, because it just becomes more of a cash cow at that point. You know what I mean? Let's say you buy a huge unit. I'm trying to think of any big units in my area. I don't know of any. Well, there's, I don't know. Let's say, though, a 4-family unit, okay? That's decent enough size. And let's say each unit itself is good size. Let's say they're all 2 bedrooms. They're not huge, but say there's, a good-sized living room and everything, so it's got enough space. It's not cramped. Maybe you charge, $1,300 a month per unit. Every unit's $1,300 a month. And let's say your mortgage, again, it's a 4-unit home, so it's sort of big. So let's say the mortgage is $2,500 a month. I don't know. That sounds like a lot, but in today's market, it's probably very reasonable. So if you're charging $1,300 a month per each unit, and let's also say this: you live out of one of the units. So you live out of one of the units, and you rent out the other 3. Each one's $1,300 a month. You're looking at $3,900 a month for you, and you get to live there for free. because now out of that $3,900, your mortgage is already paid. At $2,500, that leaves you with $1,400 at the end of the month for yourself, basically. Now, I mean, per week, that comes out to be like $350, so it's not like it's livable. You can't really just survive off of the $350 a month. I mean, $350 per week. But still, I mean, you have more than enough that you have this home now that you're able to live in for free. You're getting enough money to pay the mortgage and have extra. And, and then what you can do with that money is whatever. Either A, you could try to live off of it. I mean, you'd have a very meek life because, it's not much that you'd have. But you could, if you wanted to take a real easy minimalist approach to life, especially if you don't have a family or anything. If it's just you, then whatever. Or you can use that money, save it up, and then you'd have it in case the house needs repairs or whatever. And then you just get a job. You don't even need a hard job. Get something easy, like secretary at some company or something. So you're just kind of sitting at a desk, taking phone calls and entering data for your boss, like at a dentist office or something. Boom, easy job. You make extra. That's your money that you're making to live off of. Geez, even if they pay you minimum wage, who cares? Nowadays, minimum wage, you'd get like what, $500 or so bucks a week. That's your spending money. You don't have rent, so you don't have to worry about that. So this money just goes towards like your car insurance, your groceries, the gas for your car, maybe your car loan if you have one, your utilities, and yeah. Like, there you go. And then what you can do is if you are saving the extra money from the tenants, now you can use that to start building up and get a second unit. You know what I mean? So now, maybe over the course of a year, I mean, how much would it be over the course of a year? 12 months times, what was the amount, 1,400? So let's say 1,500, that's an easier number. So 12 months times that would be 18. So it'd be $18,000 that you could have saved up over the course of a year. Which possibly could be a decent enough down payment towards another rental unit, depending on how much it costed and all that. So see, then you can start like stacking rental properties. So now buy another one. Maybe you get another 4-family, but now that one you're renting the whole thing out. Now that one's giving you even more money. You know what I mean? Now you got $1,300 more. So now you're at $2,700 from that house that you made, plus the other house is still getting you $1,400 a month. So what's that together? 27. That's $4,100 a month. Now you could quit your desk job. Who cares? That's $1,000 a week equivalency for you. You just doubled your pay that you're getting at your minimum wage desk job. And at the same time, you could just work on saving up that money again so you can buy another rental property and just keep stacking it, keep getting properties. Or buy land and find stuff that you can, like, rent out the land for. And, yeah, just get money that way. And again, at least you're, like, instantly investing in yourself. You know what I mean? You buy that rental unit, your first one, but you're making money off of it right away. You're living there for free. Like, it's working for you. It's not like a college where you just pay money and, well, I won't see any results of this for the next 15 years. No, you're seeing results instantly when you buy that rental property. Hey, I'm living for free, and I'm making money, and I'm paying the mortgage with them. Oh, sweet, you know? But let's say you really do want to go to college still. It's just your calling or whatever. You did good in school. You're like, no, I'm smart. I need to go to college. That's what I'm destined for. Okay, fine. But I think you definitely got to do some work before you just go to college. One, try to apply to every single scholarship that you can. Every. And I mean every. Like, even if it's one that says, you know, applicant must be African American, let's say you're white. Apply to it anyways. Don't lie and say you're African American. Say that you're white, but still apply. The reason is, you know, the mentality that a lot of students have is, I'm not going to apply this. I'm not going to get it. But what's the point? So I can put all this effort in writing the cover letter and all that just so then someone else wins it. But here's the thing. If everyone has that idea, that mentality, then that means nobody applies to it. So now it literally just takes one person to apply and then they just win by default because nobody else bothered, but this one person did. So that's the same thing with the black scholarship that I hypothetically created. Maybe no black students apply because they're like, meh, I'm not going to get it. There's better students out there, and they're not going to pick me. And then you apply, and you're white or whatever, but you're the only one that applied. And so maybe the scholarship organization is just like, whatever, we'll just give it to them. Either A, because they just feel like it's the right thing to do, or B, maybe they got some contractual obligation from whatever that they have. Not contractual obligation, but, maybe there's some reason that they have to give it out. It's part of like a non-profit or whatever. So they're like, dang it, we got to give it to this white guy, even though this isn't what it's supposed to be for. And then boom, you win a scholarship that you had no business winning, but you won by default. At the end of the day, scholarships are all just free money. It can't hurt. Just load up. And the earlier you can start, the better. If you start applying to scholarships when you're a sophomore, I think a lot of scholarships want you to at least be a junior. But hey, if you start when you're a sophomore, whatever. That's just more in your pocket. That's more that you had a chance to apply to. That's more that you got your name out there for. That's more that everything. And if you win a couple, great. That's a couple down. Now junior, senior year, you already got those ones out of the way. You can focus on other ones. Or possibly even reapply to those ones if they come back. And maybe just keep winning them every year. You can win it 3 times. So, yeah, definitely try to get a ridiculous amount of scholarships. Also, there's that as well. If you plan on going to college, make sure you do really well in high school. Because the better you do in high school, then the better your chances of A, getting into the school you want to get into are going to be. And B, chances are, schools might just give you a free ride if they, if they're really interested in you because you did well. I mean, granted, it's kind of a disgusting situation because the free ride really goes to individuals that play sports. That's why they free ride you, because they're like, oh, you're good at a running back. We want you. Here, we'll let you come here for free. And it's like, really? Like, academic prowess should be what matters at a school, not athletic prowess. That's kind of stupid and backwards, but that's how that works. But you never know. Maybe if your grades are awesome enough, they'll be like, well, and still want to take you because they'll see you as like some kind of genius or something. And that would still look good for them. Like, look, we got this genius to graduate from us. It's like bragging rights for them. It should be bragging rights for you, but they always manage to twist it and make it bragging rights for themselves. So, whatever. But yeah, so that's one thing. Load up on all the scholarships you can. The second thing I would say is do a lot of research into your field. Not only research your field itself that you're interested in trying to pursue, but do research in like the industry. Find out how many jobs there are in your area. Are they easy to find? Are they difficult to find? What's the average pay? What do you think I'll start at? What could I peak at? And don't go by the ones that look great. Oh yeah, you could make $200,000. Oh, that's an extremity. Do like an average, like a real one. Even if you have to do your own statistical analysis and gather data and stuff, find out what the real peak could be and then take it from there. And then, hey, if you're satisfied with the number, great. Continue to pursue it. If you're satisfied with how easy it is to find a job, great. Or how hard it is. Maybe you're like, ooh, wow, jobs are scarce in this area. But then you're thinking, ooh, maybe that just means it's better odds for me if I get a job that they'll pay me well and stuff because, it's hard to come by. I don't know. I think that logic might be backwards because it would make it harder to come by for the applicant rather than it would be for the company. That means there's tons of applicants out there that don't have jobs, but you never know, however you see it. But just do your research first. Just know what you're getting into. Don't just blindly pay $100,000 for a degree and then, okay, let's try to do this now. Where can I get a job? No, have it figured out backwards. Have a job in mind already, then get the degree so you can get the job. Also, when you do have a job in mind, talk to the place. Call up HR or something. Get some information. Maybe get a in-person meetup. Even if you can't work there yet because you don't have a degree and stuff, hey, if they still give you a tour or whatever, it's not going to hurt. And you never know. Maybe you could land like a internship or something. That's not going to hurt either. So do all that you can to really get yourself prepped up and ready to go for your career. And be sure that it's the right thing that you want to do and all that. Also, like I said with internships, really do try to get some internships. Internships are annoying because it's free work. It benefits the company, sort of. But for you, it's like, oh, I gotta go to work and I don't even get paid. Like, that sucks. But at the same time, internships do teach you quite a bit of valuable information. I mean, when you graduate high school, college, you basically are taught the bare minimum. You're taught just enough to get by. It's like what the textbook tells you. You don't know anything in real life. You don't know how reality is. It's like always in school with math. They always give you these weird examples that make absolutely no sense. And it's like, I wish I could get like a real world example. This would probably make so much more sense that way. It's kind of like the thing that Elon Musk said about math. He said, math is such a powerful tool, but nobody knows how to use it. And he compared it to like a wrench. He's like, that's like if I gave you a wrench and didn't teach you properly how to use it and just said, here you go, go use this to fix your problem. It very well could fix your problem if you had to tighten a bolt or something, but if you have no idea how to use a wrench, that thing does you no good. You're just looking at it like, all right, what do I do with this? And that's just like math, and math is very powerful, but it's never taught properly. I'm not saying teachers suck. I'm just saying like the examples are never there, so you can't build the proper connections in your mind. You just know, okay, this is how I do it, but it doesn't make any sense. Well, why am I doing this? What is this doing? Why would I ever need to use this? What is this for? That's the questions that we never get answered. So anyways, that's just like college. You get the bare minimum teaching, and then the rest is you learn once you get in industry. When I graduated college and started my first job, I learned way more than I learned in college. Probably in my first year, I learned way more than I learned in 4 years of college, or whatever it was. What was it, 3 years at one school, a year and a half at another? No, 2.5. Yeah, 4 years. 2.5 at one school, and 1.5 at another. But yeah, 1 year in the industry, I learned way more than I learned in 4 years of college. Because you just do. You're in the real world now. You got to use every aspect of it and know how to use every aspect and all this, So yeah, if you can get an internship, it's only going to help you. In the moment, it's going to suck, but in the long run, it's definitely going to pay off. It's going to be worth it. It's like me. I went into engineering. One of the classes you use is SolidWorks. Now, I wouldn't say I struggled with SolidWorks, but I definitely learned way more in industry. And I feel like, let's say I did do an internship and I learned a lot in industry. It would just make those classes so much easier. You had to take 3 years of CAD. So the first 2 years actually, or semesters I should say, 3 semesters, not years. The first 2 semesters were Inventor Professional, and then the third semester was SolidWorks, which is kind of funny because nobody uses Inventor, but they all use SolidWorks. I don't know why they taught us Inventor. Maybe things changed. This was back in 2009, so maybe things changed. Maybe SolidWorks wasn't as big of a name then, but now it is. I don't know. But anyways, but yes, you have to take those, and then obviously you keep using it throughout your career. Like we had to do our graduation project. You have to use SolidWorks to design something of your own creation. Like you gotta basically invent something. And yeah, so if I had real world industry experience though, I'd probably be able to dominate in my class. It would be so easy to me. I'd be like, oh yeah, it's just simple. Blah, blah, blah. There we go, done. I could help all their students. Yeah, I know all this from my internship. Then when we had that final project, I probably could have made something even sexier because I'd really know how to use the software. And just boom, 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 boom. There we go. That looks good. So yeah, it can only help. So definitely get an internship. Some degree programs make you get internships, so I guess I don't have to tell you. Like if you go to be a doctor, obviously you have to have an internship. Except they call it what? Residency? And you got to have like a year under your belt at least or something. So, But if you pursue something that doesn't require an internship, try to get internships. They suck, they're not fun, but they do pay off. And then I thought I had one more thing to say. Yeah, I don't know. I thought there was something else. The only other thing I could say, though, too, is if your degree program is split up, like, say you don't have to go and get a bachelor's. Like my degree, I have an associate's in mechanical engineering as one of my degrees. I never got the bachelor's because I didn't need to. There are separate programs. You get the associates, and then you can go back and get the bachelor's. I never got the bachelor's. I was like, geez, I ain't paying more money. I'm already a big amount in debt. So I was like, let me see if I can get a job with just having the associates. Well, I was able to. So I never needed that bachelor's. That's why I never got it. So same thing. Maybe you can find a job in your field with just an associate's or just a bachelor's. Maybe you don't need a master's, Maybe your bachelor's will be sufficient enough. So do whatever you can to try to get into your industry without blowing the bank out, you know? Keep it as cheap as possible. And again, those scholarships, try to rack those in. I don't know. I think when you're in college, you can still apply to scholarships too. So just because you graduate high school doesn't mean give up. Keep applying. I know you're going to be a lot busier in college, probably, because if you're like me, you're going to work full-time and go to college full-time. But just keep trying to get those scholarships. It's free money. Also, it's kind of possibly crappy advice, but maybe go to community college first as well, because in community college you can bang out like a lot of like prerequisite type classes for your program, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. And when I went to community college, I paid for the whole thing out of pocket, 0 loans. I mean, yeah, it maxed me out. I was broke as F constantly, but I was able to do it. So, and it did help. A lot of those credits transferred to my first degree, my first real degree, let's say, and then a lot of those transferred to my second degree. I mean, I got my bachelor's in mathematics in like a year, I think. Was it a year or 2 years or something? And I took 1 class a semester. But since I had so many transfer credits, I practically had the degree just by signing up to the school. You know, like all those credits transferred, and they're like, okay, you just need to take this, this, and this. I think I had to take 6 classes, and that was it. And then I had my bachelor's. So, getting all those prerequisites out of the way definitely helped, and it was way cheaper. So that's another thing to consider as well. But yeah, I guess that's it. I thought I had something else, but I went on too long with that last point about an internship. But yeah, overall, if you're going to go to college, I just think really make sure you go as smart as possible. Don't just be like, oh, I have an interest in this field, and go, and then just blindly go, and then, you know, do a lot of work first. I know it's going to suck, but in the long run, it'll probably pay off huge. And if not, then don't even go to school. Invest in yourself. Either A, like I said, get a loan that'll directly impact you immediately instead of giving it to a college. Or B, don't even get a loan. Don't start life with debt. Geez, you just became an adult. You really want to be in debt right out the gate? No, that sucks. So instead, just get a job and work your way up. Be dedicated, be consistent. You'll get there. Or just bounce around. Start at one crap job like McDonald's and go somewhere else that's a little bit better, then go somewhere else that's even more better. Who knows what'll happen for you? The more experience you have, the more that you can just pitch to potential employers. Hey, I used to work at this place as a supervisor. Now you get into this new company as a supervisor, but you're making more at this company for the supervisor position. And then who knows? Maybe you even get some kind of promotion there. Then you can leave there and go somewhere else. Hey, I was, I don't know, I worked in construction. I was the head foreman for a couple of years. Now, boom, you're in this other company. Just stick with it. Keep trying. Have goals. Have a vision. And you can get there just as well as somebody who went to college and got ripped off. I mean, take it from me. Like I said, I have 3 degrees. I'm speaking from experience. So, yeah. I mean, for the longest time, I knew a lot of people that were making just as much as I was, if not more. And they had no college degrees. Some of them didn't even graduate high school. And I thought, how is this fair? I put so much more effort into my life, and you make more money than me? How does this make any sense? So it's possible. It's out there. You just got to, like I said, for the 15 millionth time, be dedicated, have that motivation, look for it, seek it out, pursue it, and stick with it. So, yeah. I guess that's all I got. This ended up being a little bit shorter than I thought, which is kind of funny because I thought this was going to go on and on and on. I thought I was going to have to make this 2 parts, but guess not. I'm already done. So, yeah, thanks for checking this out with me, and until next time, I said see ya.